All right, good morning, my crypto peeps. Welcome to Thursday. We got one more day and then the weekend will be here. I'll be super happy. Just a little upfront, I'm still struggling with a little bit of a cold, so if you hear me sniffle or sneeze, that's why, and that's what's going on. So, but hey, I'm the crypto curator, and let's talk about the top 3 news articles for today. I'm going to jump over to the screen, and we'll start off with the market update. Okay, as you can see, things are not that great, right? Yes, a lot of everyone was talking moon and talking, going up to 6,000. And I think Bitcoin had a different idea in mind. There was an article in the brief this morning that talked about the fact that we were in the most extreme overbought condition. And this is what normally happens when you're in an extreme overbought condition. Doesn't mean it have to, but normally you'll see a pullback. Sort of anticipating this. This means that my call on our show, Support and Resistance, was totally wrong. Completely got it wrong, but hey, that's what happens sometimes. One thing to note, guess what? We've got a new contender in the top 5. That is EOS. It actually jumped as a result of this pullback up to position 4, pushing Litecoin to 5 and kicking Bitcoin Cash out of the top 5. Okay. Let's get to the first news article. Okay, we're going to be talking about Coinbase Crypto Exchange. Everybody knows this exchange. Debuts Visa card for UK customers. Now, what this is talking about is that Coinbase is making it possible for those folks in the UK to actually use their cryptocurrencies in purchases. Before we get ahead of ourselves, though, this is not actually using crypto to make purchases. What Coinbase is doing is basically the same thing that BitPay does, and that is they're playing that intermediary. If I want to use crypto, when I swipe their Visa card, it takes crypto from my account. They immediately turn that into fiat, and then it pays whoever I'm paying, whether that's online or in store. So it sounds a lot more exciting than it is. It really isn't. When we get to the point to where we can buy things with actual cryptocurrency and it remains as cryptocurrency, I think it'll be a lot more exciting. But it's nonetheless, there is progress being made. Number 2, Tata settles their securities between national depositories on a blockchain. Now, this is a very interesting story. I will tell you up front, I don't understand the banking industry and what this is actually doing for them, but we can do a little bit of reading. So the first thing that I want to point out is that it's India's second largest firm by market valuation. They've completed this blockchain trial of cross-border security settlements between 2 central security depositories. This is the issue. These depositories do have an actual problem that needs to be solved. If you jump over to this document, this is the Quartz cross-border remittances, and this explains the current process and challenge, and I'll read through this a little bit. So the impact of digital technologies and innovation in payment processing is forcing banks to adopt new technologies or risk falling behind competitors and disruptive fintechs. If you're on the Crypto Watch brief, you'll know that Christine Lagarde, she's the IMF managing director, she mentioned today that banks will need to either adapt or be disrupted. And she said they'll have to determine if they're going to deal with cash or no cash, basically. So the existing payment landscape involves multiple agents, high transaction costs, and delays in completing a remittance transaction. There is a lack of transparency with respect to the cost and deductions made for completing a transaction, as well as huge challenges with reconciliation, stemming from a lack of real-time information on status of the payment transaction as it traverses the system, spanning various intermediaries. These challenges translate to poor experience for banks involved in the transaction, as well as in customer and businesses, which are impacted as a result of longer payment processing cycles. So this is the main point that Tata is solving with this new blockchain, Quartz Blockchain, that they are making this transfer happen with transparency, less folks involved, and fees are reduced. So this is the beauty of blockchain technology and what it's done for pretty much everyone, specifically the banks. Now, if you look down at the bottom, it said this: earlier this week, TCS revealed that its Quartz Blockchain solution enables clients to connect to RippleNet, a blockchain-based payments infrastructure for Ripple, in order to help them process cross-border Forex remittance transaction. Again, pay attention. Ripple, as much as we want to call them a shitcoin, they're executing, they continue to execute. They're solving a problem not for the retail folks, but for the banks, and the banks are finding value in their platform. Last but not least on this one, also note this: as far back as 2016, TCS has been working on over 100 blockchain pilot projects. Again, things are going on today that we will not hear about for another 15 months plus. So there's a lot of activity happening in the space. Stay tuned. Last but not least, Bittrex fails to obtain BitLicense. New York regulators cite poor internal controls. If you've paid any attention, this has been plastered everywhere. A lot of people are upset about it. But apparently, Bittrex was supposedly having people trade using the name Donald Duck and Elvis. The bottom line to this article is that, again, I think Bittrex have had some issues with how they are allowing folks to use their platform that New York found unacceptable. In addition, Bittrex is going to rebut this withdrawal from New York Department of Financial Services. They want to maintain their license, and they're going to do everything, I think, to make that happen. So stay tuned on more information about Bittrex and what's happening there. They did give the folks in New York a heads up that they need to be off by today. So we'll see what happens there. Here's something I want you listening to today. It's the Off the Chain podcast hosted by Anthony Pompliano, better known as Pomp, and he's talking with Mike Belshe, founder of BitGo. And they're going to be talking about, let me jump back a page here, about the collision of crypto and Wall Street, inside the collision of crypto and Wall Street. So hopefully you guys will check that out. You can listen to it on Stitcher, Podbean. I think there's a ton of places where you can listen to that podcast. And I will jump back on screen so that I can say goodbye to you all. Thanks for tuning in. Again, we're doing this just so that you guys can get the top 3 stories of what's going on in the crypto space. And I hope that everyone has a terrific Thursday. I'm going to go take something for my nose. As you can tell, I'm a little congested. So you guys have a good day.